Okay, and then we'll also pull up some hopefully useful personal mantras that might help with the energies that we are dealing with here. So I've shuffled, we are breaking the deck, cutting the deck, I guess. For the reading, 4 of Inspiration, Aries, 1111 card. 4 of Wands is what we might call this otherwise, the engagement card. This is leveling up. This is getting that promotion. This is, a probationary period is over here. Probationary period may be done, and you get to go to the next level. You have completed this level, and now you're going to the next. Next level might just involve planning and preparing. I mean, we've got sort of a council here and friends here, planning and preparing for the next steps. For what happens next, right? Engagement is often a period of planning for marriage, planning for the next level. So it's almost like a level between levels. It's like you've completed level 1. Level 2 is just about preparing for level 3. Not just about, but, and getting clarification on what level 3 could possibly be like and be about. So, so looking forward, having accomplished something, more to accomplish. It's a sort of a stopping point, not a stopping point, but a plateau or an achievement before the next step, right? It's a step before we go up to the next step. I'm imagining somehow like some sort of Lilliputian, or a little tiny mouse or a little people like crawling up a step, and you crawled up the step and now you made it to the step. And then we're going to sit here for a minute while you prepare, rest up, plan out your next crawl to the next step. So these are big steps compared to who you are. They're not just little steps. All right, Aries, this is your past, your present, your inner landscape. What's at issue? Environment, to-do list, possible outcome. Oh my gosh. This is fascinating because we have the same person from last time, your last reading. And it's an accidental reversal, which of course grabs my attention when I'm doing these. So in your recent past, 2 of Inspiration, this is going to be like our 2 of Wands. You've seen something, you've glimpsed the future, and you've put a lot of planning and preparation. You may have created spreadsheets, goals, written down some goals. This is very much, see, look, we've got this orange, anyway, we've got this orange, I want to say it's not the root chakra, it's the one above that, and I can't remember the name right now. So we've got this inspired, creative idea, or we've got inspiration for the future, but we've been in this mode of well, how is that actually going to happen? How do we, I want to go on this road trip, but how do I pack the car, and how do I map out my road trip, and how do I pay for it, and all this other stuff. So there's been a lot of organizational work in service of a dream, right? With the Inspiration or the Wands, we get that initial boom, oh my gosh, this is so exciting, this is so cool, or this is the direction I want to go in, this is what I want. And this is a lot of figuring out the nuts and bolts of that. So it's not, I have read that sometimes this card can mean having a vision and lacking the faith in the vision. I just see having a vision and just having a realistic idea of what exactly it's going to take to achieve that vision. It's not just going to be and then I walked out and my car was all packed and there was a map with everything and all the money I was getting. No, there's planning involved in making our dreams come true and making some wishes come true. We got to deal with some nuts and bolts. So you've been dealing with nuts and bolts. You've been dealing with the minutiae of day-to-day life with the goal of heading towards, this far-reaching vision, right? She can see, and she can see without the tool. She doesn't even need the tools. She's got her own intuition here, and she can see where she wants to go. So, so she's seeing it. She's seeing a cutout of her reality, sort of a punch through, and then she can see where that's going to go and what's going to happen in the future. But there's stuff to cover, land to cover between here and there. There's something to be done. Practical work, and planning in particular, paperwork, that kind of thing that needs to be done. Current situation, 4 voices, tired, taking a break. Okay, right? We can have a long day of planning and organizing stuff, and then we need a break. So we're not ready to jump into completely the next steps. This is like planning the night before, or, you know, you've planned for the trip, you've packed the car up the night before, and now you're going to go to sleep so that you don't drive off the road because you're too tired. So now you're going to take a little bit of a rest. So this is rest, rejuvenation, maybe even a little bit of recalibration. Maybe your plan was, you know, metaphorically, to wake up in the morning and just get going. But maybe once you wake up in the morning, you're like, yeah, actually, I'm going to make some coffee first. Okay, yeah. I mean, it'll save me $5 on the road, you know? So, and then that $5 I can use for my something else. So you're just gonna, so you may end up with a little bit of a different plan after you come out of this rest period, but there is kind of like, I need a break from this. I spent a lot of time thinking, planning, organizing, and I just kind of need a break from that. I don't want to keep doing it. So that's what you're at. You're in a bit of a break, or maybe you had some sort of plan, had some sort of vision, and this can be an externally imposed break, although you look like you're enjoying it, which you should, because rest is the foundation of everything. Rest. Every activity, every success based in rest. So you're resting a little bit. This is all looks like it's part of some sort of process of getting to the next level. A lot of planning, a lot of busy work, a lot of work, and then some rest period here. Taking a break, maybe seeing some of these plans in a new light, in a new way, maybe seeing your spreadsheet differently, allowing sort of new inspiration and allowing yourself to recharge, to get recharged. Because movement's made out of complete depletion, although sometimes we can't avoid that. This is about like recharging that and wanting to come back. And it may be self-imposed. It may be just like nothing's moving. You're not getting any feedback. You've sent out the resumes and you're not hearing back. So just chill out, rest, try to use this time wisely, because we are leveling up. That's what the overall is for the reading. So this is just a rest time. What you're thinking about, Night of Emotions. This is a person with some feelings, maybe some love, some appreciation. This could be you. This could be somebody else. You might be this person with a lot of feelings, a lot of emotions. The nights are about communication. So you might be thinking about communicating something that's very emotional for you, very difficult for you to communicate. These are developing feelings. They're growing. They're increasing. It's not, they're not necessarily completely changing, but the intensity may be increasing quite a bit. And you may be thinking about the tumult that will be created when you communicate this. Some sort of chaos. But there's somebody on your mind. It could be you having emotion. We often think about nights as love offerings, wanting to share some sort of love, share something. But I can also see this as just being feelings. It could almost even be agitation. But it's thinking about communicating emotional truths. Thinking about somebody communicating emotional truths. And you may be hoping to do that, but also afraid of the consequences, afraid of what happens next. You might want to talk about your feelings with somebody. And maybe if there's nobody around you that's like a really good objective source, maybe you can go to a professional listener, like a therapist or somebody like that actually like is trained in, I mean, not all of them are great. Not all of them really pay attention to their continuing education classes, but someone that has some sort of objectivity here, or doesn't have a dog in this fight, you know, that can listen in a little bit differently, especially if you're worried about creating some tumult with your emotions and tumult with this communication. For some of you, it might be a good idea to talk to a professional about that. Especially if you're afraid of what the ramifications or how it'll all unfold. What's at issue here is 3 of Voices in reverse. So coming out of some heartbreak. It's reversed. So there's healing. You want to heal. And maybe that's what sharing these emotions are. Right? And then also we have healing here too, healing. So you could be healing from some heartbreak, healing from something that didn't turn out the way you wanted it. But there is healing going on here. Or maybe you're breaking somebody's heart. Because heartbreak tends to be, you know, these things, these truths, or somebody's idea of the truth, of their truth, like comes in and pierces us and hurts us and and we feel those wounds very deeply to our core. But this could be you thinking about hurting somebody else, or thinking about how your feelings could be hurtful to somebody else. Wanting to give, not wanting to give, but needing. I mean, who wants to give? Does anybody really want to hurt other people's? I think there are people that do, but I don't think it's as common as we think. I hope it's not as common as we think, where people aren't like, you know, people often like accuse other people of trying to hurt them or trying to do something. Maybe that's not what's going on at all. Maybe they're just doing them and you get hurt, but their life purpose isn't to make sure you never get hurt, and neither is yours. Your life purpose isn't to make sure nobody ever gets hurt here. You know, it's like to do you, to be authentic to yourself. So, but there also could be some healing here. So it could go either way. Either you need to, you know, share some truths that you know are going to be difficult. I mean, you're thinking about it with this Knight of Emotions, or you could be healing and having this deeply emotional journey and taking a break, right? Both of these cards are about healing and healing something. So in your environment, you have, this is our accidental reversal, the Queen of Emotions reversed. So this is someone who could be male or female, it does not matter. It's a person who's internally focused, but they're focused on their own feelings. This could be someone who's blaming somebody else for how they feel, or trying to put the responsibility of how they feel onto somebody else, right? We can have people that cause us, that it is complex. Like, it is like people can cause us pain, but also we don't need to blame all the pain we're feeling on other people. But then people do, these relationships do cause pain. So, so there might be someone who's actually very confused about their feelings. There might be someone that's talking about them but doesn't really understand. I mean, they might be just trying to talk it out. This is someone you know, someone you're dealing with. This could also be someone who's very emotionally manipulative, right? That's again like not taking responsibility for their own feelings. And not responsibility, it's like someone can do something and your reaction is to feel a certain way, but then what you do with that is going to be on you primarily, of how you react to that and how you respond to that. So it could be having someone here who's very emotionally manipulative, who's preying on your emotions, who's not taking responsibility for their feelings, but trying to make you feel responsible for their feelings, and like you have to change things, you have to do things. There's a person here who is emotionally immature in some way, and it doesn't matter how old they are. They could be 90 and they could be very emotionally immature. And there could also be someone here that's expressing a lot of emotions, but underneath they're actually very calm, which to me would be very emotionally manipulative, to like display explosive emotions but not really care, because then that's just trying to get the other person to do something. So there's someone here who's a little out of sorts emotionally. That's what we can say non-judgmentally. They're not at the top of their game emotionally. We'll see what comes out we'll see later what clarifications we can get here. And then we have the Star card here, your to-do list. Your to-do list could be to be a blessing to somebody else. This is like a blessing, a wish come true, to do that for somebody else. Maybe someone's depressed, actually. Maybe someone's upset, maybe someone's depressed, maybe someone's just not functioning at their height of emotional health and well-being. And for that person who's not necessarily being manipulative, but is just struggling emotionally with their feelings, we have, you could be a blessing to them. Try to figure out in what way you can gift them something that makes them feel like that could not make them. I mean, you know, we're talking about feelings, and we're talking about, it's the interactions of people's feelings, but trying to bless someone, trying to help them feel like they belong here on earth at this time, that this is a great place for them to be, helping them feel like they're in the right place at the right time, helping them feel appreciated, you being the light that shines on someone else, you being supportive of somebody else. This could also be you receiving help, you receiving support, you receiving something very beautiful. So I feel like this could go both in either both receiving blessings and allowing other people to bless you. Allowing, that can be a part of healing here too, is allowing people to be beneficial to you and not feeling like you have to fix everything or everybody or do everything. But this could be about you letting other people support you, especially if you're in a healing process, allowing other people to support you. There can also be a sense of being in the right place at the right time with this, and either enjoying that for yourself or gifting that to somebody else, that sense that they matter, that you see them, that you see their feelings, you see what they're going through. Now, if it's someone over here who's manipulative and difficult, then that's not going to be your message, because we don't need to cater to that. But if it's someone who's just genuinely distraught and going through something, then that can be a real blessing and a real beautiful thing here. This is all part of you sort of leveling up, going to the next level, possibly of your life, possibly of some sort of relationship or career or something like that. So if a light does shine on you, receive it. If you end up being the one seeing an opportunity to bless someone who, needs it, do that. See where you can be a blessing to others. Possible outcome here, 9 of, what do we call this? Inspiration. So this is difficult. It's not getting easier. That's a possible outcome here. Is like taking what's gifted to you when you can, because your journey's still difficult right now. It's not easier. Maybe you thought this next level would be better, would be easier, simpler, but it's not. We have you going through a difficult terrain and continuing feeling like you maybe crossed some sort of threshold, like you should be crossing some kind of threshold, but it doesn't feel like it. It feels like the difficult path just goes on forever. So you could be facing like further depletion, needing to really rally your own inner resources in order to keep going on this path, in order to keep moving. So in that case, I'd say you're definitely going to need to take all the rest you can, because you've got a difficult path ahead. It's long, it's exhausting, and you'd like to quit maybe, but you can't. So doing what healing you can in the place where you are, because it's possible that, well, it is this like 4 of inspiration, right? I was talking about a plateau here. And like here we're saying like we crossed some sort of threshold. We already went through this whole journey, through these whole badlands here. We crossed some sort of threshold, but we're not in any sort of sweet jungle or anything here. We're still on a difficult path. So this could be like, yeah, you've accomplished something. You've accomplished a lot. Take a rest. Pat yourself on the back, because you've got to keep going. You've got to keep moving forward here on a difficult journey. So, or on this journey, and it may be a little bit exhausting, but you're not going to be able to quit quite so easily here. You have to keep going. It's one of those, some things in life we can quit and it's not a big deal. Some things in life we just can't. And so we're moving on. We've like, you cross some sort of threshold here, but you still got to keep going. So that's what we're seeing for the future. And so allow the assists when you can get them, allow the boosts where you can get them, allow the rest where you can get it, and bring in what healing that you can. It's almost like you're going to have to heal on the road here. You're going to have to keep walking, you're going to have to keep going, and you're going to have to like take your moments of rest and your moments of healing as you can. You have completed something, but there's more to do. There's more to do. So take the rest that you can. And for some reason, there's someone you're dealing with who's just emotionally, you could be the support person for someone who's experiencing a lot of depression or anxiety. And it's not like providing some relief or being a blessing to them is going to end this whole situation. It's still going to go on, but at least, we've found some measure of rest and comfort where we can. So if that resonated with you, join me over on Vimeo. And otherwise, I'll see you guys in a couple weeks again. So